सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम् मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्तदेवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। ओम अथ पारायणम्। With faith in Bhagavan, Guru and Shastra, even Parayanam also has a power to make us tuned more to the truth and reality. All the people become seekers only after doing Parayanam for some years or some lives. And we have already seen all these topics in our study. So it's a revision also for us and a good practice and offering to Paramatma. Spending some time in this way daily in the Parayanam of Bhagavata, Ramayana, even Upanishadic mantras is a great effort. In the sense, intellectual thinking is not much, but we are spending time in remembering something related to Bhagavan. And initial seekers in the beginning days, this is how through japa, through puja, through bhajana, through parayana, try to contact or in touch with Paramatma. They only when in time the evolution happens, krupa happens, start deeply studying, contemplating, meditating and knowing the truth. So we at one side trying best for our dhyana abhyasam, another side we are trying to do the manana chintanam. One side we are also listening to the meaning of all these mantras through bhashya, etc. And here you see the chanting also. Thus, many of the things required are being done by God's Krupa. Now, today in our chanting, it will be 19th chapter of 11th Skandha. Please chant. Om Atha Ekonavimshodhyayah Shri Bhagavanuvacha Yo Vidya Shruta Sampannah Atmavan Nanumanikah Maya Matramidam Gnatva ज्ञानं च मयि सन्न्यसेत् ज्ञानिनस्त्वहमेवेष्टः स्वार्थो हेतुश्च सम्मतः स्वर्गश्चैवावापवर्गश्च नान्योऽर्थो मद्रुते प्रियः ज्ञानविज्ञानसंसिद्धाः पदं श्रेष्ठं विदुर्मम ज्ञानी प्रियतमोतो मे ज्ञानेनासौ बिभर्ति माम तपस्तीर्थं जपोदानं पवित्राणीतराणि च न अलम कुर्वन्ति ताम सिद्धिं या ज्ञानकलया कृता तस्मात् ज्ञानेन सहितं ज्ञात्वा स्वात्मानमुद्धव ज्ञानविज्ञानसम्पन्नः भज मां भक्तिभावितः ज्ञानविज्ञानयज्ञेन मामिष्ट्वात्मानमात्मनि सर्वयज्ञपतिं मां वै संसिद्धिं मुनयोगमन् त्वय्युद्धवाश्रयति यस्त्रिविधो विकारः मायान्तरावतति नाद्यपवर्गयोर्यत् जन्मादयोऽस्य यदमि तव तस्य किं स्युः आद्यन्तयोर्यदसतोऽस्ति तदेव मध्ये उद्धव उवाच ज्ञानं विशुद्धं विपुलं यथैतत् वैराग्यविज्ञानयुतं पुराणम् आख्याहि विश्वेश्वर विश्वमूर्ते त्वद्भक्तियोगं च महत् विमृग्यं तापत्रयेणाभिहतस्य घोरे सन्तप्यमानस्य भवाध्वनीश पश्यामि नान्यत् चरणं तवाङ्घ्रि द्वन्द्वातपत्रात् अमृताभिवर्षात् दृष्टं जनं सम्पतितं विलेऽस्मिन् कालाहिना क्षुद्रसुखोरुतर्षं समुद्धरैनं कृपयापवर्ग्यैः वचोभिरासिं च महानुभाव श्रीभगवानुवाच इत्थमेतत् पुरा राजा भीष्मं धर्मभृतां वरम् अजातशत्रुपप्रच्छ सर्वेषां नोऽनुशृण्वताम निवृत्ते भारते युद्धे सुहृन्निधनविह्वलः श्रुत्वा धर्मान् बहून् पश्चात् मोक्षधर्मान् अपृच्छत् तान् हन्तेऽभिधास्यामि देवव्रतमुखात् श्रुतान् ज्ञानवैराग्यविज्ञान श्रद्धाभक्त्युपबृंहितान् नवैकादशपञ्चत्रीन् भावान् भूतेषु येन वै ईक्षेताथैकमप्येषु तज्ज्ञानं मम निश्चितम् एतदेव हि विज्ञानं न तथैकेन येन यतो स्थित्युत्पत्त्यप्ययान् पश्येत् भावानां त्रिगुणात्मनाम् पादावन्ते च मध्ये च सृज्यात् सृज्यं यदन्वियात् पुनस्तत्प्रतिसङ्क्रामे यच्छिष्येत तदेव तत् श्रुतिः प्रत्यक्षमैतिह्यम् अनुमानं चतुष्टयं प्रमाणेष्वनवस्थानात् विकल्पात् स विरज्यते कर्मणां परिणामित्वात् आविरिञ्चादमङ्गलं विपश्चिन्नश्वरं पश्येत् अदृष्टमपि दृष्टवतो भक्तियोगः पुरैवोक्तः प्रीयमाणाय तेन घा पुनश्च कथयिष्यामि मद्भक्तेः कारणं वरं श्रद्धामृतकथायां मे शश्वन्मदनुकीर्तनं परिनिष्ठा च पूजायां स्तुतिभिः स्तवनं मम आदरः परिचर्यायां सर्वाङ्गैरभिवन्दनं मद्भक्तपूजाभ्यधिका सर्वभूतेषु मन्मतिः मदर्थेष्वङ्गचेष्टा च वचसा मद्गुणेरणं मयि अर्पणं च मनसः सर्वकामविवर्जनं मदर्थेऽर्थपरित्यागः भोगस्य च सुखस्य च इष्टं दत्तं हुतं जप्तं मदर्थं यद्व्रतं तपः एवं धर्मैर्मनुष्याणाम् उद्धवात्मनिवेदिनां मयि सञ्जायते भक्तिः कोऽन्योऽर्थोऽस्यावशिष्यते यदात्मन्यर्पितं चित्तं शान्तं सत्त्वोपबृंहितं धर्मं ज्ञानं सवैराग्यम् ऐश्वर्यं चाभिपद्यते यदर्पितं तद्विकल्पे इन्द्रियैः परिधावते रजस्वलं चासन्निष्टं चित्तं विद्धि विपर्ययम् धर्मो मद्भक्तिप्रोक्तः ज्ञानं चैकात्म्यदर्शनम् गुणेष्वसङ्गो वैराग्यम् ऐश्वर्यं चाणिमादयः उद्धव उवाच यमः कतिविधः प्रोक्तः नियमो वारिकर्षण कः शमः को दमः कृष्ण का तितिक्षा धृतिप्रभो किं दानं किं तपः शौर्यं किं सत्यमृतमुच्यते कस्त्यागः किं धनं चेष्टं को यज्ञः का च दक्षिणा पुंसः किं स्विद्बलं श्रीमन् भगो लाभश्च केशव का विद्या ह्रीः परा का श्रीः किं सुखं दुःखमेव च कः पण्डितः कश्च मूर्खः कः पन्था उत्पथश्च कः कः स्वर्गो नरकः कः स्वितु को बन्धुरुत किं गृहं क आढ्यः को दरिद्रो वा कृपणः कः क ईश्वरः एतान् प्रश्नान् मम ब्रूहि विपरीतांश्च सत्पथे श्रीभगवानुवाच अहिंसा सत्यमस्तेयम् असंगो ह्रीरसंशयः आस्तिक्यं ब्रह्मचर्यं च मौनं स्थैर्यं क्षमा भयं शौचं जपस्तपो होमः श्रद्धातिथ्यं मदर्शनं तीर्थाटनं परार्थेह तुष्टिराचार्यसेवनम् एते यमाः सनियमाः उभयोर्द्वादश स्मृताः पुंसामुपासितास्तात यथा कामं दुहन्ति शमो मन्निष्ठता बुद्धेः दम इन्द्रियसंयमः तितिक्षा दुःखसम्मर्षः जिह्वोपस्थज्जयोद्धृतिः दण्डन्यासः परन्दानं कामत्यागस्तपः स्मृतं स्वभावविजयः शौर्यं सत्यं च समदर्शनं ऋतं च सूनृता वाणी कविभिः परिकीर्तिता कर्मस्वसङ्गमः शौचं त्यागः सन्न्यास उच्यते धर्म इष्टं धननॄणां यज्ञोऽहं भगवत्तमः दक्षिणाज्ञानसन्देहः प्राणायामः परं बलं भगो म ऐश्वरो भावः लाभो मद्भक्तिरुत्तमः विद्यात्मनिभिदावादः जुगुप्सा ह्रीरकर्मसु श्रीर्गुणानैरपेक्ष्याद्याः सुखं दुःखसुखात्ययः दुःखं कामसुखापेक्षा पंडितो बन्धमोक्षविदो मूर्खो देहाद्यहं बुद्धिः पन्थामन्निगमः स्मृतः उत्पतश्चित्तविक्षेपः स्वर्गः सत्त्वगुणोदयः नरकस्तम उन्नाहः बन्धुर्गुरुरहं सखे गृहं शरीरं मानुष्यं गुणाढ्यो ह्याढ्य उच्यते दरिद्रो यस्त्वसन्तुष्टः कृपणो यो अजितेन्द्रियः गुणेष्वसक्तधीरीशः गुणसङ्गो विपर्ययः एत उद्धवते प्रश्नाः सर्वे साधु निरूपिताः किं वर्णितेन बहुना लक्षणं गुणदोषयोः गुणदोषदृशिर्दोषः गुणस्तुभयवर्जितः इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे एकोनविंशोऽध्यायः। ओम शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, श्री भागवत शरणं मम, श्री सद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्री सूत शरणं मम, श्री शुकदेव शरणं मम, श्री व्यास शरणं मम, श्री नारद शरणं मम, श्री कुमार शरणं मम, श्री ब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्री विष्णु शरणं मम, श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ओम मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। कृष्णप्रियं सकलकल्मषनाशनं च मुक्त्येकहेतुमिह भक्तिविलासकारी सन्तः कथानकमिदं पिबतादरेण लोके हि तीर्थपरिशीलनसेवया किम्। ॐ नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः। मुक्तिर्हित्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ अष्टाविंशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच। You can see in this way only when we spend time in the Chantri mantra Ucharana, in the chanting of Bhagavata mantras, and in trying to understand to the extent our intellect permits, that we are in the track of spirituality. Left to the world, left to the mind, left to the people, left to ourselves, we'll always be getting flown or drowned in this ocean of endless samsara. Right now, we are almost from the middle of samsara sagara coming to the corners. Once we come to the shore's corners, just walk out of the ocean, then relax. The coming to the corners is clearly, convincingly understanding and accepting that our goal is to reach to the Paramatma Tattva Anubhava in our hearts and everywhere. And for that, the Vicharana, Avagahana, Dhyana alone are the ultimate sadhanas. To be able to do this Vicharana, Avagahana, Dhyana, the qualifications are the Antakarana Shuddhi. For the Shuddhi of the Antakarana, we in the place where we are placed do our duty systematically. And for more and more Shuddhi and also the Shaktis, the infinite Shaktiman Bhagavan, we do his upasana, pray to him to give us all powers and Shaktis only for our spiritual studies, spiritual understandings, spiritual sadhanas, and spiritual experience. If in these things, undoubtedly, we have the complete understanding and faith, unhesitatingly, only thing if we are doing this, almost we are reaching to the shores. And fully when we are established in sadhana for siddhi, nothing else we are minding, almost we are in the very, very good, safe, secured path. And in this sadhana itself, when you can see, as the understanding becomes clearer as we grow in sadhana, the picture appears so clear to us regarding how the world, what's the world, what is the bondage in the world, what is jiva in me binding, how it's happening, how to get liberated. All these things start suspashta rupa in our understanding happening. Then at that level, when you study our Advaita Vedanta Shastras, so conspicuously clearly, we understand that time what is the beauty of those Shastras in which the Rishis Munis have given the experience which they have gained and the path they followed for the sake of all of us. One of those Shastras is Bhagavata Puranam, and in every skandha we are seeing great, grand, glorious guidance. In fact, the chapter which we chanted now, the 19th one, in which when Uddhava asked question, Bhagavan gave the answer. It is such a wonderful thing. Again, to recapitulate what we spent 15 days and studied 2 or 3 months back. How Bhagavan spoke about Jnana Mahima. And to get into that Jnana, how we have to take the help of the Upasana. Having heard this, when Uddhavji asked for those 20 or 26 prashna about what is Yama, Niyama, what is Shama, Dhamma, all those, to that prashna, one word, two-word answer, which Bhagavan gave. In fact, it would be a very, very beautiful, useful everyday referable text it is. Everyday referable chapter, 19th chapter. We studied that. At that time also we spoke. It was so great. Ki, like you can see, for everything what he asks, kaha panditaha, kaha murkaha, kaha pantaha, kaha utpataha, swargaha kaha, narakaha kaha. Before that, pumsaha balam, bhagaha, labhaha, vidya ka, hri ka, sukham kim, dukkham kim, Dhanam kim, tapah kim, shauriyam, satyam, tyagah kim, dhanam. To every one of them, Bhagavan gave that one, two word answer. I tell you, it's such a kindness of Paramatma. Just stop at that chapter level, thoroughly study it few times, and try to remember most important things throughout the day. Be in the practice of them. Then we see definitely we are evolving. Like that, every chapter of Bhagavatam 11 Skandha was really a treat in itself. So, towards the 27, now we are into the last chapter of Lord's teachings for the Mukti. In that, he is explaining to us the supreme truth, supreme reality, the Parabrahma Paramatma Paratattva. Then he starts explaining to us to see that the karma phalas and the karmas, the swabhava, prompting the karma and the Vyaktitva, whether it is of ours or others, should not take possession of our Antakarana. That Antakarana in this way, which is freed from the para persons, para swabhava, para karma, and their life, and also ours. That Antakarana, which is freed from all these, alone is pure enough, quite enough to comprehend what Upanishads are speaking about, the absolute truth in their own language of Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma or Anta Pragnam Nahispragnam or Saparegal Sukramakayam Avaranam. Each of the Upanishad was describing about the truth. Sarvam hi etat Brahma, Ematma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma. See, each Upanishad spoke, but it's still vague to us. We are not able to catch the essence because the Antakarana is not prepared, not fit. Why? In that so much of dirt and dust of the Ragadveshas are there. Why they are there? Because in the Antakarana and Hridaya, the value given to the people, their behavior, all of that is so much there. Why? Through the Ninda and Stuti or Prashamsa and Garhanam. So, keeping all that in mind, to eliminate all the dirt, Bhagavan gives only one sadhana. Was stop doing the prashamsa and garhanam of parasvabhava parakarma. Enough of the, if that much is done, your heart will be freed. If this is not clearly understood or not thoroughly practiced or taken for granted or left it for lenience, the result is what? Asatya aviniveshataha, because of the asatya avinivesha, swarthat brashyate. From the fourth purushartha of the moksha, we get derailed, we get detracked, we get detoured, and we get back to our old ruts. Because para swabhava, para karma, all of them are imaginations, projections in the self. They're all asatya. If you give value to them, you are getting into the abhinivesha. Then for eternity, you will be in the Vinivesha Para Swabhava Karma. For the eternity, we will be missing the absolute truth, the reality, the self, which is so sublime, so subtle, so deep. Though it is in us as ourselves, yet we are far away from it. In terms of time, if you see the time of billion eons, and the distance wise thousands of light years. हम अपने आप से इतने सारी कांति संवत्सर दूरी में भी हैं और लाखों करोड़ों युग प्रतियुग दूर भी होते हैं अगर हम अपने परमात्मा तत्व को भूल जाते हैं तो एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज द भ्रश्यति आशु भ्रश्यति स्वार्थातु. And we spoke yesterday in exhaustion yesterday that in Vyavahara also, in this way when we live, then less of the influence of others happens on us. Then more of our contemplation we can have, more of assessment of ourselves we have, then we can eliminate the negative from us and whatever the positive required for our own pursuits we can inculcate. What is generally happening is all the time our attention is on people outside, either appreciating them, depreciating them, winning their hearts, leaving them from our heart. पूरा जिंदगी भर ऐसे फंसे रहते हैं. Never look into our own heart and search out for non-positivities, eliminate them and inculcate the positive. जिसकी दृष्टि हमेशा दूसरों के खेती पे ही होता है, तो अपने खेती को जोत कर वो अपने पूरे इस वीड्स को निकाल कर वहां पर रोपाई करके फसल को नहीं पाएगा वो. अंडरस्टूड? Always worried about the other children, you will never be able to take care of your children. You have to take care of your children, your field, your house. So too your own antakaran. Else we get lost in the world. That is why million times we are saying with people we have only some runa anubandham, some obligations, some of this prarabdha. More than that, anything extra involved or importance given, we are not only going away from the Paramatma, we are creating lot of problems to ourselves. This art of detached attachment. Okay? More than detachment, the right word is non attachment. Be with the world, but attached not. Padmapatra Vivambasa. With everything. Not only with things and beings around, even with this deha. Every moment, every day, the thought should be this deha is given to me to stay in that and eke out my prarabdha and do my purushartha of sadhana. It's not going to be permanent. It will be taken away one day. How it is taken away, it has its own prarabdha. It is fixed. I don't know in whatever way it happens. Manzoor hai. With this only also that much. And it's our own mind. It is carrying the load of its own habits, all vasanas. It is very terrible. Okay, little of study I do, little of improvement I try to bring it. More than all that, I keep on offering it at the feet of the Lord, asking Him to purify this, to equip it, to empower it for the right purpose. इतना ही करना इवन मन में भी ज़्यादा नहीं फंसना. In this way, we will learn one by one when we start becoming truly deeply spiritual. All these things start revealing themselves one by one by the Krupa of Bhagavan and Ishwar. Okay, Guru. Now we saw these two shlokas. Then the beautiful two shlokas we saw. In the first one, Taijase Nidrayapanne Pindasto Nashta Chetanaha Mayam Prapnoti Mrutyum Va Tadvat Nanartha Drukpuman. Okay? Tadvat Nanartha Drukpuman. That Puman in whose drushti Nanatva is still given importance by doing Ninda or Prashamsa of the people's Swabhava and Karma. He will be caught up in delusory world. He will die as a seeker. Just like when the Indriyas are withdrawn, person has not yet entered into the sleep. In the mana, in the dream, he is in the projected world with all this dukkha sukha there. When he is tired of that, he goes into oblivion of nidra like a mrityu. So, mrityu of totally going away from Paramatma Anveshanam. Then the delusory world of likes and dislikes samsara, just like that of dream, we will be caught up in, we will be always thrown into by ourselves if we have the Nana Artha Drushti. What is Nana Artha Drushti? Taking the things which are seen as multiple as true and their swabhava karma as real, valuing it. Just like the movie, taking the whole cinema true, characters as real, and happenings in between them, all of that is really real. If you take like that, you're lost. कितने बार हमको ये मनन चिंतन करने से जो नहीं वैल्यू करना है वो पता चलेगा. हम कम वैल्यू देने लगे तो साधना होने लगती है और संसार घटने लगता है. That's the example given. Now the next 3, 4, 5 slokas are of very, very high level truths which are really non-listenable, understandable, acceptable by the worldly people. तो टू मच इनटू द संसारा उनको तो ये मानने को भी तैयार नहीं होते. Those who for some lives have heard Vedanta are at the feet of Guru, have done their own study and little of inquiry, to them only ये बातें पचते हैं, सुनने को हिम्मत होता है, नहीं तो नहीं. What is that? किम भद्रम किम भद्रम वा द्वैतस्या वस्तुनः कियतु वाचोदितं तद अनृतं मनसाध्यातमेव च. See, Dvaitasya, Avastunaha Dvaitasya. Kim Bhadram, Kim Abhadram. Oh, in that Ekameva Dvayam Brahma, the Dvaitam is only projected. In the Ekameva Dvayam Brahma, the Dvaitam is projected. Any time its word when you listen as Dvaita, understand it is me and other than me. Both of them are projected on absolute me. Morning class, I think in Rudra Shivekam we have seen it, and also in our Upanishad class we are trying to see. Again, we are saying it like in Gita, Who is there is Uttama Purusha, 15th chapter. On him, Kshara Purusha, Akshara Purusha are projected. So too in 7th chapter, who is there is that Parama Purusha about whom it is said as Matta Parataram Anyat Kinchit Nasti. On him only Apara, Para Prakritis are projected. Apara Prakriti is all the Jada Vishayas, whether they are Stula Vishayas or the Antakarana Vrittis, all of them are the Apara Prakriti. Then that Jiva is there? No, he is Para Prakriti. Both of them are projected on one Paramatma. And in that projected Para Prakriti only, the entire world is there. When both of them are transcended, there is no Jagat. That's called pure Paramatma. Same in the 9th chapter, same in the 13th chapter. Kshetragnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Everywhere we are told that. Here also, Dvaitasya avastunaha. Dvaita is not a vastava, it is avastu, unreal. Dvaita is me and the world seen by me. The me and the world seen by me, which was seen in the 15th chapter as well as 22nd chapter, also in this same Bhagavata Purana as what? And in our Drukdusha Viveka as the Drashta and Drushya. In other words, the seer and seen both are projected on that which is neither the seer nor the seen. The seen are the Jagra Sapna Sushukti Jagats. The seers are Vishwa Taijasa Prajna. Both are projected on the Turiya Atma. Projected, not real. And these two are relative. Seer cannot be without seen, seen cannot be without seer. Seer will be very stronger when the seen are very important. Seen will be real when the seer is very strong. So by devaluing the seer is reduced. By devaluing the seen is reduced. When both of them are utilized, we reach to that self which is substratum both of the seer and seen. Okay, the Jnata Jnanam Gneyam, Drashta Darshanam Drishyam. That दर्शनम को साइड पे रखो, दृष्टा दृश्यम की बात करो. और दृश्यम को साइड पे रखो, दृष्टा दर्शनम की बात करो. Both of them are projected on one Druk Swarupa. This is the language of Mandukya Alata Shanti. If you remember that? On one Paramatma only, the Drashta Drishyam or Drashta or Darshanam or Drashta Drishyam Darshanam. These are all projected. In this, the drashta is sattva guna, the drishyam is tamo guna, the darshanam is the activity, the rajo guna. All of these are the three gunas of Maya. What is Maya? From the world standpoint, cause of the world, from Paramatma standpoint, non-existing. Now these are all sorted out in deepest contemplation and experience. The truth is experienced beyond all of them in the deepest meditation. Pause here for a minute. Allow this thought to sink. At the deepest contemplation level, all this tamasha is pakka understood. Having understood, when we take that contemplation level into the meditation, we will transcend all these projected imaginary drashta darshanam drishyam and see one truth which is expressing as three. Same thing was being spoken in the 5th and 6th Anuvakas of Taittiriya Upanishad. Bhurvuvaswaritiva etaha tisro vyahrutayah. See, Dvaita avastu tasam uhasmaitam chaturthim maha chamasya pravedayate. Actually, maha iti tat brahma sa atma. See, that is Brahma, that is Atma, Maha, the fourth Vyavruti of all these three. So, who is Atma Bhuhu? Maha. Who is Atma Bhuvaha? Maha. Who is Atma Suha? Maha. Then Atma of all these is what? Maha. Then what are all these three? If the Atma is Maha, the Anatmas which are projected on that. That Anatma is Avastu. This vicharana when not done. When proper vicharana is not done, you will see the rope as snake. When the vicharana is powerful, rope is seen as it is, snake goes away. When we don't enter into the vicharana marga, till that time, how much ever we do and gain things, all of them are in the illusory world only. Like in the dream. You can become there also, Indra, Chandra, Brahma. You can go to all lokas. You can do the prashasanam of all the lokas. In the dream, you can become a ruler of the entire king, bhulokam. सारा सपना हो सकता है. But विचार करो तो you are a जागृत पुरुष. All of them are projected. This thought कि अविचार कृतो बंधः विचारेण निवर्तेत. That day, when we are convinced about it, our real sadhana starts. Clear? Again, I am saying the non-inquiry is the one creating the bandha of anatma by super projecting anatma on the atma. The anatma are two types: drashta, drishyam. When you do the vicharana, one truth is discovered on which atma, anatma, or drashta, darshanam are projected. Drashya, drishyam are projected. Now, this is a very high level. It cannot be publicly spoken because the unprepared minds get misguided. Therefore, only in that confidential mode to Uddhava, Bhagavan is teaching it. In Prapancham also, only few char panch log like you and me discuss this. All others will do Duma. They won't come to this type of topic because they are not deserving it. For them, Bhagavatam is only Krishna Katha. That is enough for them. There is nothing to think there is nothing to do except some tears when the Kathakara very emotionally explains the Gopikas, Krishna Prema, the Krishna and Yashodas, the mother and child Vatsalya. They cry and they drink more water and they enjoy. Not this topic. That is what Prabhu Paramatma's Jadu. Gurudev says this. Many people won't come to your Vedanta lectures. They don't deserve it. You want people, then drop Vedanta and make your lectures as entertainments, they'll come. But that's not our goal. Our goal is to experience truth, to speak only truth. Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. Or Rutam cha swadhyaya pravachane satyam cha swadhyaya pravachane. So the topic is very sublime. Everybody is not fit for it. Even if you are also not fit, don't worry. Do the lower level of sadhanas as told in the earlier chapter of Vaidika Tantrika, all this Kriya Yoga. When the Lord wants, when He blesses, you can feel the fitness for this sadhana. What is that? Dvaitasya avastunaha. In the Vicharana, we come to know the Dvaita of Drashta and Drishyam are avastu. Both are having a substratum, the pure Paramatma, not knowing that only these two are projected. Okay, now what he says is when the Dvaita itself is avastu, unreal, how can there be Shubha, Ashubha in that? That seeing Shubha, you do the Prashamsa, and seeing the Shubha, you do the Garhanam or Ninda. That is the thing. Kim Bhadram, Kim Abhadram. What is Shubha or Ashubha? What is auspicious or inauspicious? In the Dvaita, which themselves are unreal. Is it not in a movie? Hero is good, villain is bad. Both are projected here. And I told you the other day, in many of the cases, I am just telling, don't take this statement literally and fight with me. Those who act as villain in the movie, they are more charitable in the outer world. And those who are like a hero, they do more gotala. And that also is not real again. The jiva in him is doing that. The pure Paramatma is untouched by all that. Please remember, Kim Bhadram, Kim Abhadram va Dvaitasya avastunaha. Those who are interested to know the Advaita Paramatma, they have to reject importance given to the Dvaita of Drashta and Drishyam. If you have to give up the Dvaita of Drashta of Drishyam, in the Drishyam, he should never talk something as Bhadram and Abhadram. Then the Drishyam will not enter into. Here Drishyam is para swabhava, para karma according to swabhava. Para means that person. His swabhava and his karma. These are all Drishyams for me. If it is taken as Bhadram and I comment on it, do the Stuti. If I take it as Abhadram and again do the negative comment of Ninda or Garhanam, what's happening? The Drishyam is given importance. Then the Drashta also equally becomes real according to that Drishyam. Drashta Drishyam is Samsara. Druk Swarupa is Moksha. So when I want to know the Druk Swarupa Shuddha Advaita Atma, I have to drop the Dvaita. Dvaita are related. In that also, the drishya, when it is devalued, the drashta in me also becomes quieted. Drishya is given value by commenting on it through the prasamsa and garhanam. Because on some parameters, they are considered as bhadrama bhadram. The bhadra abhadra of the drishyas and dealing with them accordingly is allowed in the vyavahara at the time of protecting ourselves from doing wrong, at the time of making the antakarana shuddhi. No, at a higher level of deeper sadhana, wanting to know the truth, there is nothing in the world as Dvaita real. Then how can it be Bhadra and Abhadra? I don't know. That is Bhadra, Kim Bhadram, Kim Abhadram va Dvaita asya avastunah kiyat. Now, what a beautiful, powerful sentence. These are all Upanishad saramsha only. What he says कि वाचा उदितं तद अनृतं मनसाध्यातम अपि तद अनृतमेव च. Anything spoken through the mouth is only unreal. Anything conceptualized through the mind as thought also is unreal. This is what is the entire Chandogya Brihadaranyaka when they talk about these mantras like Vacharam Vadam Vikaram Namadeyam Vruttiketyeva Satyam. Contemplate on this sloka. Mrittika iti eva satyam. And on that mrittika, vikaraha vacharambhanam. And vacharambhanam vikara is namadheyam. And to give a nama, only given a rupa to that. Is it not? A concept in the intellect or mind is made of a pot for a purpose of carrying water. Then to that concept, a realized reality is given by molding that mud into a shape and called that shape as pot. And go on tongue as pot and bringing water. In Vyavahara, it's perfect. It's a pot, everybody agrees. When you say bring pot, pot only will bring, not something else. And pot is used for storing things or water. बहुत बढ़िया व्यवहार हो रहा है. But in this व्यवहार के गड़बड़ गफलत में, are we not forgetting the reality, the mud? In Vyavahara, the mud may not be required more than the pot. But in the case of Bandha Mukti discussion, the reality is the only one which gives Mukti, not the imaginations, projections on that. See, what is there is mud. Where is the pot? In your eyes and in your mouth. Is it not? How, you have to accept this truth because any side of the pot you touch, you are touching mud only. ऊपर नीचे बाएं दाएं आगे पीछे क्या है उधर मड ही है. But where is the pot? In your mind as well as in your eyes as a form and in the mouth as the name. That is why Vacharambhanam Vikaraha. The pure self is always the same, but other than the self, in the self, called as Vikara, has begun when the Vani started. The Vani is at the mouth level, but before that at the Mana level, called as Madhyama and Pashyanti. In the Madhyama Pashyanti level, in the mud, you have imagined the pot. All the while, when I am imagining the pot in the mud and used my hands and the wheel and the danda and tried to mold the mud into the pot, all through concepts are working. The reality is always remaining as real. The mud is always mud. यू मे मेक इट एज पॉट फिर कच्चा वाला उसको गर्म किया जलाया फिर उसको सेल के लिए लगाया then it is sold you got money the one who bought it was very happy used it for some days it's broken सब चलता है but still what is there is mud only Is it not? In the same way, you may see the Panchakoshas, you may identify with them and call yourself Jiva, look at others also as Panchakosha, call them as other Jiva, then establish any relativity between both. कुछ भी करो ये सब उसी एक परमात्मा में प्रोजेक्टेड विषय है, इज ओनली प्रोजेक्टेड नॉट रियल. मोस्ट पावरफुल इट इज. यत वाचा उदितम तत् अनृतम. Whatever is spoken by the mouth by a name, all that is anrutam. So too manasadhyatam eva anrutam. The shape is a shape and utility are made in the buddhi or mana, and the name is given in the mouth. Your mouth's blabbering is the entire world of things other than Paramatma. But it has become a habit and everybody accepted it. Therefore, it is going on like it's a correct thing. Like we all accept constitution and continue, and then everybody accept that it appears to be correct. Why it can be improved upon a lot. बट कोई सोचता ही नहीं. जब सोचते हैं फिर शुरू करते हैं चेंज करना. आई एम रीडिंग दिस सेंटेंस अगेन. वाचा उदितम तद अनृतम. Whatever is spoken to them through the mouth is unreal, and self is not an object to be spoken with the mouth by some nema, jati, dravya, guna, kriya. In this way, the self cannot be spoken. It is beyond all of that. It can't be spoken at all because only the object can be spoken, not the subject. Self is the subject in me. Therefore, it cannot be spoken with Vani. See the twist here. जो हम मुख से बोल सकते हैं उसको सत्य, जिसको मुख ये मीन्स माउथ से, माउथ में नॉट हिंदी वाला, इंग्लिश. विद द माउथ दैट विच कैन नॉट टॉक अबाउट इज असत्य वी थिंक. दिस इज वेयर द ट्विस्ट इन वेदांत. इन वेदांत that which you cannot speak with mouth is the self. That which you can speak with mouth is not self. And that which cannot be spoken by mouth called as self alone is real. And that which can be spoken with the mouth, which is not self alone, is unreal. Therefore, vacha auditam unreal. That unreal in anrutam in Sanskrit, this fellow called as unreal. Same English wala. Unreal, unrutam, rutam, real. This rutam is different from morning. Rutam cha swadhyaya pravachanech. Anrutam in jhoot. Vacha auditam tad anrutam. You know, in a humorous language, you say, what is entire world? Nothing but calling names to God. In Hindi, English, calling name to God means gali dena. You call me names? You call me names? That is called the question. Gali de rahe ho mujhe? In Hindi, the whole world is nothing but Bhagavan ko gali dena hai. Calling name to God. Tadanrutam manasadhyatam. If we can sort out these two in our deep inquiry and contemplation, we are very near to what our Vedanta, what our Shastras, Upanishads want to tell us. They want us to understand and realize. भैया परमात्मा ही सत्य है, नित्य है, बाकी सब उनके ऊपर आरोपित असत्य मिथ्या है. कहाँ फंसे हो तुम असत्य मिथ्या में? But again, because of vasana, because of habits, because identity with upadhis, because of likes and dislikes, this alone अच्छा लगता है हमको, छोड़ने को मन नहीं होता. That is why the initial preparation of viveka, vairagya, samadhi, satka, sampada. With that only this truth will be ready to listen and understand and accept and practice. वो बेसिक्स नहीं है तो हमको सुनने को मजा नहीं आता. इतना खासा अच्छा बढ़िया आइसक्रीम खाना लगा के, if somebody says it's a mithya, a one who is vairagi will accept it. Yes, it's mithya. But a one who has interest in all of them is तुम्हारे लिए मिथ्या होता होगा, but मैं तो इसको सत्य मानता हूँ. Things remain same, but for a Vairagi, it is easy for him to understand. When it is said it is mithya. For but a Ragadveshi, he will not say it, it is real, I have to deal with it, I have to interact with it. To a Vairagi, you can explain, why they are all drashya, you are a drashta. And also, like we studied in Drugdashevik exhaustively, Every object in the world seen by us has its own substratum, its own the karanas, the causes. If you trace the cause of everything, the everything is caused by existence only. Therefore, existence given form name is this object. Therefore, the object is never real, it is changing. You may not perceive the change happening, but change is continuously happening till it dissolves into the pure existence. The Rupa Nama become non existent, they dissolve in the pure existence. So, therefore, what you are seeing is the pure existence in Rupa Nama. Existence is real in that Rupa Nama are mithya. And the Rupa Nama देखने वाला तुम्हारा इंद्रिया, whether your eye seeing it, mouth talking about it, ear is listening sound, the hand is going and touching, nose is smelling, even these indriyas also झूठ मूठ, वो भी धोखा दे रहे हमको. The instruments also are a part of delusion, even the antakarana. The deep contemplator slowly enters into that zone of pure infinite conscious self alone, in which other than this nothing other than that akashavat, only samudra, water, ocean, infinite inside. No waves, no tides, no bubbles, no ripples, no froth, no foam, no whirlwinds or whirlpools, no cyclones, silence. Absolute शांत आत्मा. Now these things ना एक का 10 बार सुनकर चिंतन थोड़ा start becoming inquiry oriented, contemplative, we start understand. डेली 5 मिनट 10 मिनट 15 मिनट सुबह दोपहर शाम ऐसे बस आराम से बैठकर आकाश अंतर समुद्र contemplation, self also like that. In that only the projected upadhis are again further projecting through their activities the variety of Shabda Sparsha Prasagandha or the thoughts and emotions. Wow, I like this shloka. Kim bhadram kim abhadram va द्वैतस्य अवस्तुनः. द्वैत इज अवस्तु, उसमें भद्र अच्छी चीज, बुरा अभद्र बुरा चीज कहाँ है कि आप किसी का प्रशंसा करोगे, किसी का ग्रहण करोगे. देन वाचा उदितम तद अनृतम मनसा ध्यातमेव तद अनृतम. Interesting point. What's happening in us? The existence of mind with its habit of projection. When it is in the laya avastha, it is called as nidra. When the mind is becoming utthana and playing its play of projection, it is called Jagrat Sapna. And all of us are living only in these three avasthas. We are not able to even listen and understand that if these three avasthas are coming and going, it must be based on something fourth, which is other than these three, which is supporting all these three, on which these three are projected. That is real, this is unreal. ये सुनने का, सोचने का न हिम्मत है, न ताकत है, न जरूरत महसूस होता है हमको, क्योंकि इन तीनों अवस्था में मजा आ रहा है. Take a good bath and have a nice shampoo, wear good dress and behave decently. If you tell this to a pig, it never likes it because it is very happy in the daldal. It is so comfortable. At home it is, in that kitchen. That's fine. Tell that fellow, "Ay, aa jao, shower bath le lo." He says, "What are you talking? Yeh maja, tu idhar aa ja." In the same way, for you and me, the sukha of nidra, the sukha in swapna, then the vishya sukha in the jagrata avastha, so overpowering that we are liking it, enjoying it. This is Maya. फर्स्ट क्या होता है ना, माया से जगत प्रोजेक्ट किया जाता है, उसके बाद उसमें अच्छा ही देखा जाता है, कहते हैं मोह. ये दोनों होने के बाद then the राग द्वेष. You know, that's why in this world, no two persons are deluded by the same thing for same reason. That itself shows that everything is delusion, not real. उसको इंजीनियरिंग पसंद है, ये हँसता है, अरे पागल डॉक्टर बनना है यार, इतना पेशेंट्स का देख सकते हैं, काहे का इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हो? यू बिल्डिंग में कंस्ट्रक्ट करोगे फिर टूट जाते हैं, वो लोग मरते हैं, हम डॉक्टर तो लोगों को जिंदा करते हैं. इट इज हिज वर्शन, ही इज प्रोजेक्टिंग दैट. एंड इंजीनियर हैज ओन प्ले. आई हैव अ कंस्ट्रक्टिव कंस्ट्रक्टर. इफ आई डोंट मेक ऑल दीज थिंग्स वेयर योर पेशेंट इवन दे आर हेल्थी विल लिव, वो उसका वर्शन वो है. So please be attentive. Except in Paramatma Anubhava, everybody is in delusion and each one is in their own delusion by choice. धीरे धीरे सुनना और तुरंत लाइफ को चेंज नहीं करना. फ्रॉम द व्यवहार गिविंग अप ऑल, गेट नॉट कंफ्यूज्ड. दैट्स द ग्रेस ऑफ लॉर्ड दैट वी डोंट रिमेंबर एनीथिंग व्हेन वी लिसन. If we remember everything, we get so heavy and confused, we forget doing our duties. इसलिए भगवान हमसे सब सुनवाते हुए भी उसका असर ज़्यादा पड़ने नहीं देते हैं, ताकि हमें जो प्रारब्ध होना है होता रहेगा और जो थोड़ा थोड़ा साधना हमसे होना है होता रहेगा. It's like all food is served, but you don't gulp it everything just like that. थोड़ा थोड़ा ही खाओ, but everything is served. In the same way, knowledge is given, but everything is not gulped or digested. This is in the Bhagavan's creation only. The forgetting of ours, what we listen every day, also is grace. Why? Because if you remember all that and try to act on all that, it's so chaotic and confusing because so many things we are listening every day. They are contradictory to each other. सुबह का क्लास, दोपहर का, शाम का, एक दिवस अलग ही रह रहे. Here we say that everything is vacharammanam or vacha uta anrutam manasa dhyatam anrutam. Morning rutam cha swadhyay pravachane cha satyam cha swadhyay. भागवत में परब्रह्म सत्य सब मिथ्या कह रहे हैं और उपनिषद में कह रहे हैं पहले काम कर, उपासना कर. See? And what Lord does, He makes us go through our prarabdha. And according to prarabdha, when we grow, when we go through exhausting them, and what dose is required for that day's improvement, that life's improvement, that knowledge only He gives. All others in the stock. It keeps on working year by year, life by life. Thus we evolve. Therefore, keep on like a bhans and cow. It grazes all the grass, but एक जगह बैठ के थोड़ा थोड़ा चबाता. In that way, you understand. That's a God's grace, which is not the topic here. Huh? By the way, you're adding it. Here, the topic is what? Bhadra, Bhadra, how can there be an Advaita, which is itself unreal. And everything which is spoken by the mouth and conceptualized by intellect is all this is Anrutam, unreal. Then we try to explain it by the example of pot, by the shlokas, Vacharambanam Vikanu Namadhe Murtiketya Satyam Ityadi. And the conclusion is what? On pure Paramatma, who is beyond Rupa, Nama, Guna, Jati, Dravya, as well as the Upadhis. In him, the Upadhis are projected, and the Upadhis are playing the play of projecting all the Jati, Dravya, Guna, Rupa. परमात्मा में ही आंख सुपर इम्पोज्ड है. परमात्मा में ही आंख के द्वारा देखना सुपर इम्पोज्ड है. परमात्मा के ऊपर ही आंख के द्वारा जो वस्तु देखा जा रहा है वो भी सुपर इम्पोज्ड. Just like on the canvas when you paint, it's only the paint in the brush, is it not? But with that, don't you paint a tree, a bird, in the tree, the branches, the leaves, even the strings. You are painting everything. अरे सब एक ही paint है. But then onlooker, when he says, what a painting, he says. That's a general statement. Specifically asked, good painting. जमीन अच्छा, आकाश अच्छा, बादल अच्छे, पंछी अच्छे हैं, पेड़ भी बढ़िया दिख रहे हैं, नदी भी बढ़िया है. All of them are paint only. See, the paint of Maya paints the variety of names and forms on the canvas called as Paramatma. This is the fifth or sixth or eighth prakaranam in our Panchadashi. Beautiful. What is it called as? What prakaranam? not Nataka Deepa, Kotastha Deepa. Example, only one example on that entire discussion. There is a bed sheet or any carpet. In that 10 people are seated, बातें कर रहे हैं, ऐसा चित्र है. किसी के हाथ में चाय का कप है, कॉफी कप है, जो है कोई झाड़ू कर रहा है, a big picture पेंटिंग की तरह. The whole world is like that. विश्वम दर्पण दृश्यमान नगरी तुल्यम निजांतर्गतम. This we have to deeply through contemplation slowly understand. जल्दबाजी नहीं करना, धीरे धीरे होता है. And when you are doing, you are growing. Others not doing, they don't grow. Therefore, your knowledge don't impose on them. You live with them in the normal way, in the Vyavahara. When you deeply understand Vedanta, your wife or husband doesn't. Don't impose on them this. They are not fit. You are not together as a teacher and taught of a Brahma Vidya. You are only together, wife and husband, to fight with each other and entertain the neighbors. वहाँ ये गुस्ताखियाँ नहीं करना. Is it not? Like I have to do only the job of teaching Vedanta to you. Any other thing is again gustaki to me. Lucky that you don't talk to me, share with anything to me. It is all your cooperation to me. Thus, you are not making my mind disturbed. Otherwise, each one of you tell the entire history of yours and future of yours. My mind will be confused because Dvaita se avastura. That way, you are so nice and helpful by not calling, not talking, not telling anything about you. Because everything is mithya. You are practicing it practically. Our relation is only to give jnanam, take jnanam. In the same way, the relation with it's a byproduct. Huh? By the way, understanding I am telling. The main point is what? Dvaitasya avastuna bhadram avadram kim. So to anrutam vacharambanam manasadhyatam. Slowly lift your level of understanding to this. And the Mandukya Karika Upanishad, the second one, Vaitatya Prakaranam has exhaustively explained it. And these 4-5 examples of everything absent in Nidra and in the dream, totally different world, in the Jadu of the Jadugar, in the Indrajalam, these three, Swapna, Maya, Manora, that is coming in the next sloka only. Chaya, Pratyapaya, Vyasa. I am seeing that. Anyway, the next sloka talks about all examples. How many times they are all told. The more we thoroughly understand example, and in the same way, just to do one thing, undue value given to the world, you drop. We get a capacity to contemplate. With that contemplation, we will know what is true, what is projected. The trick, that knack, the subtlety will come at that time. If the undue value is given, then the raga dvesha only work. They are sentimental, emotional, mind is functional there, intellect is always kept quiet. A very emotional, sentimental wife never allows the husband to talk logic. आप मेरे को logic मत बोना. She starts crying only. She never allows the husband. नहीं मैं आपको ये समझाना चाहता हूँ. मैं क्या समझाते हो? मैं सब जानती हूँ. अब मैं जो कह रहा हूँ करो. नहीं तो मैं नहीं, आप घर चले जाओ. आप घर जवाई हो. मैं मैके जाऊंगी वाले पहले की बातें थे. Is it not? In the same way, in us, the sentiments, emotions, because of value given to the world, is not allowing our intellect to open up to set the what do you call the inquiry. I tell you, no delusion, no ignorance, no attachments, no bondages can stand to the Brahmastra called as Vicharana if it is used. ब्रह्मास्त्र है लेकिन वो तिजोरी में रखा बंद किया तो क्या फायदा. विचारणा ब्रह्मास्त्र will cut asunder all the maya of every type. We are doing it little by little. In this chapter, that's the discussion. Okay, now the theme is told. What is that? Don't do prashamsa and garhana, para and svabhava karma. If you do that, you will fall from your truth and reality. That is what? Asatya abhiniveshataha. Example of Taijasa, Nidra, all that. Now, again, the another theme is what? The Dvaita is Asatya. In that, how can we Shubha, Shubha, or Bhadra and Abhadram? In fact, anything spoken by the mouth, anything conceptualized by the intellect. That's what is Dvaita. They're all Anrutam. Therefore, कर्मेंद्रिय ज्ञानेन्द्रिय अंतःकरण का खेल है, परमात्मा में हम जगत को देख रहे हैं. कर्म ज्ञानेन्द्रिय अंतःकरण नहीं है, इसलिए निद्रा में जगत है ही नहीं. Is it not? When we wake up, all these are awakened, then the world is projected. Consciously, when we transcend the upadhis, we'll have no immediate or medium yukta jnanam. We'll have the immediate jnanam, medium less. Medium less conscious observance of the world is your own self. It's a very high level thought, though I said it casually, but this thought is at a very high level of contemplation is realized. The knowledge through the upadhi is of the jagat. Without upadhi, when you try to know the world, you will know it as your own self. Slowly. Okay, now one shloka we'll touch today, discuss more tomorrow. Chaya pratyahvaya bhasahi asantopyartha karinaha evam dehadayo bhavaha yachantya mrutyuto bhayam. Again, very heavy dose shloka. Very difficult to explain, more difficult to understand, impossible to accept, and when it is acceptance is impossible, practice to dur ki baat hai. The three examples are given. Listen carefully. Chaya. Chaya means what? The shade. Pratyahvaya is the resound. The abhasa is reflection. I asantaha, they are not real. Yet arthakarinaha, still they help in doing a work. Through that some काम होता है, though they are not real. Chaya, pratyahvaya as well as abhasaha, asantaha api arthakarina. Non-existing things they are, yet they do some purpose. They serve some purpose. यही मजा है. Why it has to be said? Because we are seeing some purpose is served through the upadhi. Therefore, because our purpose serving, we are calling them as real. Here the example is given that though the things are unreal, still they serve a purpose. Because they are serving purpose, therefore don't take them as real. Like the Panchatantra story. When you tell a children, from the children learn all the values. Children are taught the values, that is some arthakaritva ho gaya, koi kaam bana usse. But is the story is real in Panchatantra, where the lion talks to the cow talks to the calf, hota hai kya wo? It's not, it's impossible that the जानवर बात करते हैं, but purpose हो गया. All the mothers do that to feed the children. They talk every nonsense, but it works. They show the Chandamama and all that. Chandamama will come to you, you can play with Chandamama. Chandu Mama may come from Dubai, but not Chanda Mama. But the child, Mommy, you will get to me real. Oh, tum pehle khana khao beta. That fellow innocent eats it. Then after eating, he will sleep. He will forget Chanda Mama. The Chanda Mama is remote next day only. Just because we are not experiencing right now, you cannot say that the self is not there. This is easy to understand. More difficult is what? Just because we are experiencing the world, doesn't mean it is real. If this breakthrough we can achieve, then we are understanding Vedanta. Just like I put the chili in my mouth and it is very pungent, or I put the sweet in my mouth, it is sweet, is not enough sufficient proof or inquiry to say that the tongue is real, the chili is real, the pungency is real. देखो, अनुभव का सत्य का होने का प्रमाण की जरूरत नहीं है. Like you are frightened of seeing the snake, it's not the proof enough for the snake to exist. In other words, Non-existing snake, imaginary snake, projected snake can frighten you. They are all called virodhabhas. Like, Earth is revolving with such a speed, but you don't see it is moving. With the Earth, we are also moving so fast, but we don't like that we are moving. Flight is moving, but we are not moving in the flight. But along with flight, again we are moving. We are moving or not moving. The answer depends on the standpoint. Standpoint of you seated and belted in the flight, you are not moving. But standpoint of the flight, with its movement, you are also moving. Interesting. Little subtler. So these three are asantahapi arthakarinaha. Like chaya, shadow. There is nothing called substantial thing, shadow or shade. But ठंडा लगता है कि नहीं? अरे, what is shadow or shade? A light is coming, sunlight, a tree or something came in root. Therefore, the light is obstructed from falling. That's it. Called shadow. शैडो नामक कोई ऐसे अलग चीज है क्या? उसको पैक करके दिखाओ, पकड़ के दिखाओ अपने छाया को. हाँ, बट फिर भी वो अपना काम कर रहा है कि नहीं. सब शैडो में बैठते हैं पेड़ में कि नहीं. कितने बार हम बचपन में इन द हॉट समर्स व्हेन वी गो टू प्ले और एनीथिंग, आई रिमेम्बर ऑल दोज डेज ऑफ पीपल के पेड़ के नीचे बैठना दोपहर के धूप में. शाम को पूरे पेड़ भर पंछी, पत्तों से ज्यादा वो इतना आवाज कर रहे हैं. Oh, it's all. Remember, even this railway station. We used to specially go to that local railway station, very village wala. All there, nothing. Only 2-3 trains come per day. And the non-train coming time, when the trees evening time, so many 10, 20, 30 trees, thousands of birds. मजा आता. गर्मी में शैडो पे बैठे हैं, काम हो रहा है, but it is not real. So to प्रतिध्वनि, प्रतिग्राह्य बोलते हैं. This is प्रतिध्वनि is on your sound gone and hit the wall, it came. Nobody is there to speak. The resonances, the resounds, the entire, what do you say, the submarine subjects, whatever they are called, they all work on this principle only. Technically, what is it called? I don't know. पता नहीं कभी देखा सुना होगा. Resonance they talk about. Is it not? By sending the rays, the reflection comes, then the things that are there are discovered. Third one is important. What is that? Ki abhasa, reflection. In the mirror, the face of ours. Real है क्या वो? But काम करते हैं क्या? You put your चंदन तिलक and all that, बाल संवारते हैं या विग जो भी है. It is not there, but it is serving the purpose. Think coolly. It is not there because you can't catch that reflection. So to the reflection in the water is not an independent entity of a sun or moon, but still with that you can illuminate. हाँ ये कैसा कैसा वही तो बता रहे हैं. Don't ask me, you understand it. Even though it is not real, still it can work. Therefore, because you are experiencing, need not be taken as real. Like dream, you experience but not real. That is what he says. Evam dehadayo bhavaha yachanti amrutyutah bhayam. In the same way, the dehendriyadi panchakosha, though they are unreal, still till we die, they go on giving us bhayam. What is the meaning of all that? Little to be discussed. Tomorrow we will see. Then tomorrow we'll see what a beautiful shloka. Ki the self is the one which is the creator, created. Which is the one protector, protected. Which is the one which is dissolving, dissolved. Create करने वाला, किए जाने वाला. Maintain करने वाला, किए जाने वाला. लाया करने वाला, लय किए जाने वाला, दोनों एक ही परमात्मा है. दिस इज अल्टीमेट. इट इज अ मांडुक्य लेवल. दैट्स आई टोल्ड यू दिस भागवतम 28 chapter 11 सर्गा हेवी डोज. रियली अगर समझ में आ गए ना तो पूरा बदल गया जिंदगी. नो मोर बॉन्डेजेस. लेट्स सी, कल देखेंगे बाकी. सर्वम श्रीनारायण चरणारविंदार्पणमस्तु. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय. सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. सेम हेवी डोज विल बी इन अवर रामायण आल्सो. चलो उसको भी थोड़ा सुनते हैं. See